Hello, Star Wars fans. This is J.A.R. 369, and welcome back for another figure review. Today, I'll be taking a look at the Star Wars The Vintage Collection Darth Sidious, or Emperor Palpatine, based on his appearance from Revenge of the Sith, made by Hasbro. Yeah, just a little bit of throwback, and I know you're thinking, why am I reviewing this figure? Did this figure came out already? Well, actually, no. This figure is from 2010 or 2011. Yeah. Well, and I found this guy at my local flea market for about $5, but I offer 4 and the seller takes it. So, yeah. So here is the packaging. You can see it's just the usual Star Wars and Vintage Collection packaging. And there's the free purchase for the rocket firing Boba Fett figure. Everybody remember that when it was originally that Kenner made back in the 80s, but then glued the rocket firing because of choking hazard. And now Hasbro decided to re-release this figure with the rocket firing feature. Too bad I don't have that. It costs a lot of money nowadays. So anyway, there's the screenshot image of Darth Sidious there. There's the window exposing the figure. On the back here, yeah, it's pretty interesting that Hasbro shows a little bio about the character and, well, sort of, and show off the figures. Yeah, but like, I'm guessing this is the bio about the Vintage Collection, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it looks like it instead of the character. And here are other figures from the Vintage Collection line, like Sand Trooper, Grievous, Anakin, Obi-Wan, and a Clone Trooper. Yeah. So that's about it. Let's take out Emperor Darth Sidious out of the package. Here is Darth Sidious out of the package. Let's take a closer look at the figure. Let's see here. Yeah, take a closer look. Yeah, you can see there's like the sinister looking Darth Sidious figure. Well, the head sculpt looks pretty sinister, I would say. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. But still pretty okay for a figure that was like in 2010s. Looks pretty good. Yeah, let's remove the hood for a little bit more details. Ugh, look at that. His head is a bit too small. It reminds me like one of the Bobs from Beetlejuice and the sequel. Yeah, you can see his hair right there. Let's put back his hood here. And take a look at the figure here. You can see everything is all cloth cape and everything. Like this coat right here looks like a fur coat. Yeah, you can see there's like the fur right there. And so you can see like it won't stay because of the hood won't stay down because of the fur coat here. Yeah, if you put it down like on his head, you can see his face is covered, just like in the Phantom Menace. And especially the this little skirt thing here is also cloth cape there. Take a look at the hands. You can see the hands. You get one hand for holding on his lightsaber. The other hand is like doing the electricity force pose hand and holding it as well. Lift this little skirt thing here. You can see he has pants he's wearing. You get the boots right there and everything with some straps. Nothing much on the feet area there as well. And on the bottom, there's 2 peg holes in the bottom of his feet and some, well, just 2 peg holes there. Overall, for the figure itself, looks pretty decent. I'd say it looks okay. The head sculpt could be a little bit better. I mean, it looks fine, but like it's a bit too small on him. But thankfully for the hood here. Yeah, I really wish this isn't cloth, just a regular looking, just a regular sculpted coat instead. But you know, it's Hasbro. Now moving on to articulation. Let's take off his hood again. There is some ball joint at the head there. Arms do go fully rotate, but it's hindered by his coat. Does go in and out. Been at the elbows, rotate, waist rotation, legs kick forward and back, bend at the knees, rotate. There's rotation at the ankles and ankle pivot and ankles pivot forward and back, and that's about it. Yeah, this is basically an old school articulation on the old Vintage Collection figures than the newer ones. But I know the Emperor Palpatine figure that I reviewed a long time from the Return of the Jedi is the same. Yeah, but I'm not gonna pose him any. You're not gonna have him pose any posabilities except like have him doing this. For accessories, he does come with his lightsaber here and the lightning effect. Yeah, that's about it. Overall, for this figure itself, yeah, it looks pretty good. Looks pretty decent. The head sculpt looks good, even though it's a bit too small, but still not too bad. Articulation is very limited because this is an old figure from 2010s. Yeah, the figure itself looks pretty okay, I would say. The lightning effects, I like how he just holds it there. Like, unlike the recent Vintage Collection figures, where it's just a swappable hand with the lightning effect there, instead of, like, you know, just clipping onto his hand where he's, like, dramatic. Yeah, I really wish Hasbro can continue that one instead. You know, just to save a little money. Or maybe it costs extra to make a lightning effect. Yeah, for this figure, look, if you want a Emperor, a Darth Sidious figure based on his appearance from Revenge of the Sith, well, I would suggest finding this figure at your local flea market for a reasonable price. Yeah, this figure goes around on eBay, I would say $30 or more. Yeah, it's a pretty bit pricey for this figure, something small. But luckily, like I said, I found this at my local flea market and paid about $4. Originally, the seller offered $5, I offered $4, and he takes $4. Anyway, the figure itself is pretty good. I highly recommend it if you want to look for this figure for yourself, or if you don't have this version of Darth Sidious. If you have this version of Darth Sidious, what do you think? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. For my rate, I'm going to give Darth Sidious an 8 out of 10 for me. I hope you enjoyed my review. If you did, please consider like, comment, share, and subscribe if you're new to my channel. And follow me on Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky. All 3 links will be in the description down below. That's all I had to say. This is the Star Wars The Vintage Collection Emperor Palpatine, based on his appearance from Revenge of the Sith, made by Hasbro. And this is J.A.R. 369. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on my next review. And remember, long live the Empire.